Hey everyone, it's Steve from Experience Milwaukee. Welcome to another episode of our Milwaukee Legend series presented by the one and only iconic Harley-Davidson, a committed partner not only to this podcast, but to our local and global communities. The Milwaukee Legend series is presented in partnership with Harley-Davidson and their 2024 Homecoming celebration happening July 25th through 28th. Learn more at hdhomecoming.com. This episode features Milwaukee legend Bill Davidson, great-grandson of Harley-Davidson co-founder William A. Davidson and someone who has spent 40 years at this amazing company. Bill combines a deep passion for riding with a commitment to preserving Harley-Davidson's legacy while driving its future in Milwaukee and beyond. How has Harley-Davidson managed to shape Milwaukee's landscape and culture for over a century? And what's their next big move for the city? Is Harley-Davidson's ride with the customer's philosophy the secret sauce that's kept them going for 121 years? Or is there more to the story? Could the upcoming Harley-Davidson Homecoming be the ultimate fusion of music, motorcycles, and Milwaukee that keeps our city on the global stage? All of this and more in a fun conversation with Bill Davidson. Thanks for listening. Love you, Milwaukee. Bill, what's up? How are you?
It couldn't be better. I wish the sun was shining.
It's
good to be here at the Harley-Davidson Museum.
Yes. And in one of my favorite spots, Motor Restaurant, this whole campus is just amazing. And as we were talking before we turned the mics on, free parking, plenty of it. It's a great place to stop.
It is amazing. And when you think about it, it's a beautiful 20-acre campus.
Yes.
Park-like
it's
setting.
Huge. Yeah, it
in
is.
downtown Milwaukee.
With the river right there.
The river, and the river has become so active with canoeing and kayaks and boats. And we had a 40-foot dock, and we put another 40 feet on the dock. So now we got an 80-foot dock just because of the boat activity.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
This is the place to be in summer because you've got bikes, you've got music, great food and drink. This is like a daily festival here.
Yeah, it is. It's an experience every day.
Right.
And with bike nights every Thursday now through September, live free music, free parking, great food, grills burning. I mean, it's just... It's a lot of fun.
It's so much fun. And everyone's so welcoming, I find. Whether you pull in on a bike or not, they just love that you're here. And you can get some merch. And I even made the mistake recently of not doing curbside pickup because I went into the store and then I bought even more than I thought I was going to do.
That.
Yeah.
We love that.
So, and even my friend picked something up. So,
that's great. Yeah,
but it's awesome.
It is fun. And, we welcome people really from all over the world.
Right.
And now that it's summer, we're seeing a lot more tourists from international countries.
I believe it.
They are so excited to be here. And for many of them, it's a dream come true to visit
it is.
Milwaukee and visit the Harley-Davidson Museum in Milwaukee where we were born.
Yes.
1903.
Yes. Yes, you see it on their faces. And what I love about what you just said is and this is purely from my perspective, the merch, the clothing, the gear, all that retail stuff I feel like you have sort of the traditional core look and feel of the merch that you have, but then there's like stuff for everyone in terms of the color combos and the style and even like what the thing is. Like I bought a hoodie that's a green hoodie with yellow Harley-Davidson on it, and it's like I wear it on Packer Sundays.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And you know what's really neat is, like I mentioned, we have people coming here from all walks of life.
Yes.
Many of them don't ride.
Right.
They're curious. They've heard about Harley-Davidson.
And they want to be part of it somehow.
And when they go through the museum and they see 121 years of history,
yes,
they say, we had no idea what an awesome story.
Yeah.
Holy man.
Yeah.
We got to spread the word because it's really
and now
cool.
we're in. And now we're in.
Now
right?
we're in.
Yeah.
And then they can go shop the merch. and find something that's got
works for
Milwaukee,
them.
Wisconsin on it, and something that works for them. It's really cool.
It is. It's cool to watch that happen and see sort of that, not only the light bulb, but the transition from casual observer to now like fan of this iconic brand that is right here in our city. It's so awesome. And speaking of all that, iconic brand, you've got the name. Let's pretend like no one knows who the heck you are.
Right.
A little bit of background and leading up to like kind of what you're up to these days here at the old Harley-Davidson.
Absolutely. It's been an amazing ride, no pun intended. Truly has been an amazing ride. I'm an avid motorcyclist. I have been since the age of 6 when Willie, my father, took us to Cave in the Mountain State Park just outside of Milwaukee and taught my brother, sister, and I how to ride.
Wow. Who can say that? I mean, come on. It's awesome.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a family affair, you know. Our little dog, Peppy the poodle, my mom and dad, and some good friends of ours. And what's really cool, we actually captured that on 8mm film.
Oh, no kidding.
And we have the footage of us learning how to ride that we've used very carefully for various events like our dealer show and so forth. Yeah. But very cool.
And I'm sure, families everywhere are doing the same thing, right? Some parent is showing their kid how to ride a motorcycle. You just happen to have Willie G teaching you.
Right. Yeah. On a customized 1963 M50 Harley-Davidson. Yeah. Because Willie likes to customize motorcycles, which is really cool. But in a nutshell, I am so proud and so blessed and so fortunate to be part of the Davidson family. My great-grandfather was one of the 4 founders, along with his 2 brothers, Walter and Arthur, and then Bill Harley. So it was 4 founders, the 3 Davidson brothers and Bill Harley. And this was a dream come true. Right. The first 2 were Bill Harley and Arthur Davidson. And then Walter and my great-grandfather, William A., joined. And they made it a reality. And back then it was more about transportation.
Oh, sure.
And over the years, as more and more people got engaged with it, they saw how much fun it was. They started going to different races on weekends and club events, and now it's just an awesome sport, a leisure sport to get out and enjoy the open road, the sense of freedom.
Sure.
I've always said nature is exaggerated when you're on a Harley-Davidson.
Oh, I believe it.
Because the look, sound, and feel of the bike, and then you've got nature all around you.
Right.
It's just awesome. So the 4 founders, and then my grandfather was president of the company from 1942 to 1973. Okay. And I knew my grandfather very well. He was a big mentor and big inspiration to me as he led the company. And we'd be going over there for birthday parties and Christmas celebrations, Thanksgiving, and my grandfather would talk to my dad, Willie, and my dad's brother, my Uncle John, about the company, and I'd be all ears listening. And it was such a cool conversation, such a cool topic. And this is when I was very young and really didn't know what I was going to be doing. I hadn't really thought about joining the company yet. Then when I got into high school and you start thinking about your career and what you want to do in college and so forth, and I was like, man, motorcycles are so cool and Harley's so awesome. I want to be a part of it, and I want to play an important part in the company. And so I joined the company in 1984. I actually just celebrated my 40th anniversary with the
congrats.
company.
Yeah, that's
Thank
awesome.
You.
Yeah.
It's really been an amazing journey.
I'm sure.
Amazing. The many different roles I've had, primarily in marketing, but the doors that have been opened and the people I've met and the customers I've met around the world. Unbelievable.
Do you draw on any memories of those conversations to contribute thoughts, ideas actions to the company today,
Absolutely.
Throughout your career?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a great question because the founders actually started that way back in the very beginnings of the company when they invited the first dealer to join the board of directors.
Oh.
And C.H. Lang, who sold piano tuning tools, became our first dealer down in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
And they invited him to join the board of directors when we incorporated in 1907 because they knew he, being a dealer, would hear the input from the customers.
Right.
And so this
Smart.
close to the customer's philosophy has just continued to grow. And that's why we ride with our customers. We ride with our dealers.
Like no other company does.
No other company. And it's so important to be engaged in the sport that you're marketing and selling. And we do.
It sounds obvious, but not a lot of companies do it.
Right. Yeah.
They just don't.
You know, we send a whole crew of people to Daytona.
Yeah.
We send a whole crew of people to Sturgis. And it's to obviously show them our products and do demo rides and give them great experiences. But it's also this family feeling of coming together as company employees, dealers, customers, and just having a great time.
Yeah. And by the way, you just throw, one of the biggest, coolest parties in Milwaukee all the time as well in the homecomings. But we'll get to that.
Looking forward to that.
So this is, speaking of that, this episode series called Milwaukee Legends, sponsored by our great friends at Harley-Davidson. It's not only looking at legacy from your contributions to this community, to this company, to people. I've seen you do it. I've seen you give talks and share stories to bring people together in general, but also around this iconic brand. Willie G, your dad, is being celebrated at this year's homecoming.
Yeah.
I guess for listeners, what can you, besides teaching you how to ride a motorcycle, what do you think about when you think about the contributions he's made to the company, the brand, the sport, the city of Milwaukee? What kind of thoughts come to mind?
It's amazing. Willie was the next person I was going to talk about after my grandfather.
Sure.
Willie joined the company as a contractor doing some side work. He actually worked for Brooks Stevens, industrial designer.
Another famous company here in town that still is designing things that are innovative today.
And Brooks, back in the 50s, did some things for Harley, some accessories, tank logos, and so forth. And then Willie officially joined the company in 1963. Is still actually doing some things for the company, designing a T-shirt right now for Sturgis, which is incredible.
There's some, part artist as well, right?
Yeah. So my dad, Willie, is an amazing person. I mentioned my grandfather being a mentor and an inspiration. Willie he's like my older brother, and we're very, very close. He's been a tremendous mentor, tremendous inspiration, and a great dad.
The whole package.
It is the whole package. And Willie, he's an incredible designer. Went to Madison and then didn't feel like he had enough, so he went out to California Art Center and got a degree in design from California, which is the leading school for like automotive design and so forth. You know, he has designed some incredible motorcycles that are iconic. The Fat Boy, the Lowrider, the Street Glide, the V-Rod.
So,
the Sturgis. I mean, just incredible. The Super Glide. And he had a great read on what people wanted to see. Mm-hmm. And he was able to absorb that and work with manufacturing and the styling team
to make
and
it
engineering
happen.
to make it happen.
Yeah. Which is not easy.
It's not easy. And he was very successful at it.
Yeah.
It's very cool. And my dad is also, he's a great leader. He's a legend in the motorcycle industry for sure.
For sure. Absolutely. No doubt.
He's a designer and he's an artist. He's a very accomplished watercolor artist and does these amazing watercolors. And I'm blessed because my whole home is filled with them.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I think, as you talk, I see in you and I see in how you describe your dad as people who are people. And there could be egos, but there aren't. And I think you feel that in the community. As I've done these Legend series, I've done few interviews now, and when I ask about who are those community partners, those corporate partners in Milwaukee that make sure they're at the table when important things are happening to better Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. And Harley-Davidson comes up over and over again. Mm-hmm. It's more than just this iconic symbol and brand we see everywhere in these bikes. How do you see that, though? How do you see the impact of Harley on this community?
When you think about this being the birthplace of Harley-Davidson,
one of the outrageously awesome startup stories Milwaukee has ever had, right?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And we're still here,
yes.
121 years later. And you think about that 121 years of impact that Harley-Davidson has had on the city of Milwaukee and the things that Harley has done for the city of Milwaukee. And now, even today, we're building an unbelievable park.
It is
Davidson
incredible to see how that is coming together, too.
In front of our headquarters. Yeah. We've got Harley Park. We're building Davidson Park. And we're getting ready to soon announce to the world this park as part of the Homecoming adventure, which is going to be incredible.
Yes.
And that's really, we're excited because we'll be able to program this park with things like STEAM for the kids.
Yes.
We'll bring community activations together, artists together. So it's going to be really phenomenal.
In another life I lead outside of this podcast, I've already had talks with parts of the Harley team around getting the Milwaukee Youth Symphony Orchestra some gigs over there too. And it's not like you just carved out a little section. It's been a beautification of that whole area.
It is phenomenal.
Yeah.
When you see it, you're going to get goosebumps.
You're in awe.
Because you're in awe.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. And what's really neat is many of the partnerships are local companies in Milwaukee that we utilize to help build this park make it do the landscaping and so forth. I mean, it's stunning.
Even the activation, you're working with local partners to make that happen.
And I personally, I love Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is a jewel. I think Milwaukee is a gem because it has so much to offer.
So much.
And
even in the winter.
Even in the winter, absolutely. You think of the culture and the scenery and the architecture and the beauty of the lakefront and all the events we have and the Harley events and bringing motorcyclists from all over the world into Milwaukee to play homage to home, right? The Homecoming.
This is the grounds where it happens.
It's awesome.
All over the city. When you think about all of that in context, and as Harley's literally contributing to the growth and development of that neighborhood and on the near west side, you've seen this city evolve over the years, and anything from a cultural, social kind of perspective that you think you've seen in Milwaukee that even if it's behind the scenes, Harley's kind of had a little bit of a fingerprint on?
I am very lucky to be part of the board of Menominee Valley Partners, and I sit on their management committee.
So in the midst of all the stuff you do, you are literally shaping Milwaukee, rolling up your sleeves.
Yeah.
I'm just in awe. Okay.
And helping other leaders that have the same passion for Milwaukee. I also sit on the Visit Milwaukee board.
Yeah.
And these are important things because those of us that live and breathe it,
right,
as I do through Harley, Milwaukee is synonymous with Harley-Davidson.
Yes.
And so to look at some of these things like Menominee Valley Partners, talk about the valley between American Family Field and the Harley-Davidson Museum and everything off of Canal Street. It is an unbelievable change that has occurred.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember what used to be down off of Canal.
Yeah. It used to be the one reason you would drive on that street is to take the secret back way into the stadium.
Yes.
Not today. It's completely different.
Completely different. Yeah. It's a thriving area of industry, manufacturing, recreation. And, what's really neat is we're a bookend to that development. And it's we have, just because I'm on that board, I know that we have people from around the world asking us how we changed it.
Right.
From this industrial wasteland, if you will,
right,
to this thriving, beautiful, unbelievable, exciting area.
Businesses,
that is
entertainment,
attracting
all
jobs, and it's really cool. And we're proud to be one of the bookends, if you will.
It's only a bookend because you hit the water and you can't go any further.
That's right. Although I hope one day we can put a bridge across the river, because it would be awesome to be able to connect to the 5th and 3rd Ward and make it a little bit easier access to this part of the city.
When you think about legacy of the company and impact on the city, what do you hope people kind of walk away with? And or, your family's impact and legacy.
Yeah. It's been an amazing career for me. 40 years I'm celebrating this year. One of the biggest takeaways for me is the excitement we create and the experiences we create and the spirit of adventure we create, that sense of freedom and enjoyment for people, whether you ride or don't ride. When you think about people and coming together to create the greater good, I see Milwaukee continuing to build, develop, thrive. I see Harley-Davidson being a part, like we just talked,
to support
Davidson Park and all the things that we're doing for the city. I mean, the Homecoming alone, the economic input or impact that we have for the city is amazing. When we bring people in from all walks of life, from all over the world, using the hotels, going to our awesome restaurants, riding our awesome roads and riding up Lake Drive to see the scenery. It's fantastic.
Spending their money all along the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seeing the music.
Yeah, so as we continue to make Milwaukee a greater destination, these are great things for the city of Milwaukee.
I'm starting to think here that you're so involved, you personally, and the brand, so involved in the community, because do you make motorcycles? Yeah, but this company is all about community. And you've said it, right? You ride with your customers.
Yeah.
You go to the events.
Yeah.
And if there's not one happening, you'll just make one happen here.
Right.
To bring people together.
Yes.
It's really awesome.
And you know what's so cool is that's not new.
Right.
That started right away when the company started in 1903. The founders were going out and talking to customers because that's how they had to sell.
And the best startups today do that. Talk to customers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or the most successful.
As this grew through word of mouth and people got involved, they were like, wow, what a cool community to be engaged with.
Yeah. That's so cool. All right. Here's a tough one.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to read this verbatim. The first part. As a recognized leader and influential figure in Milwaukee, I know it's true, but you don't think that way. But it's funny to say. I think I wrote that line too. Sitting on these boards, being an involved resident, loving the city. What's the vision you hope to see for Milwaukee?
Wow, that's a big question, the vision of Milwaukee.
Yeah, where do you see it going? I mean,
well,
you mentioned so many cool parts of it, from restaurants to the infrastructure, the parks, the rivers.
There's my involvement with other leaders from Milwaukee and just getting to know people.
Right.
There's some really great people, smart people,
yes,
and people that are applying the right philosophies and looking at the right strategies to take Milwaukee to the next level.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is when you look at the statistics, like we review a lot of statistics at the Visit Milwaukee board meetings.
Sure.
And you see what's changing in Milwaukee and who's coming to Milwaukee, how many young adults are coming to Milwaukee, the industries, the manufacturing that are growing in Milwaukee.
Uh-huh.
And look at, Milwaukee Tool just opened their headquarters downtown Milwaukee, right? It's very, very exciting. And I think Milwaukee is on a great path to continue to grow, continue to attract more people, and that's great stuff.
Yeah.
And then you add in all the things that Harley-Davidson's doing, and
right on.
The Homecoming, and I can't wait to talk about that.
Lay it on me. What can you share?
Oh, man. We have so much in the works for this Homecoming. We talked about honoring Willie, which is going to be occurring throughout the city at different events. We're going to be opening the new park, Davidson Park. But then when you take a 10,000-foot view and look down on the city of everything that's happening, we're going to have stuff here at the Harley-Davidson Museum. In fact, Thursday night, we have a free concert with Kenny Wayne Shepherd.
What?
It's going to be awesome.
Guitar legend?
Yes, Kenny Wayne Shepherd. Free. At the Harley-Davidson Museum.
I will set up my tent right now and not leave until July.
I might put one up right next to yours.
Let's rock on. Let's do it.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Custom bike show down here on, I believe it's Saturday or Sunday. I'm not positive of that date, but
everything's on the website, right? As it gets released.
Yep. HDHomecoming.com. And
there you go.
So lots of things happening in the museum. We're going to have a special Willie exhibit. We're opening a new design exhibit that Willie's a part of. New products on display. Just a lot here. Then at Juneau Avenue, and that's Davidson Park.
Yeah.
And then we're doing tours. This is really cool.
Yeah.
We're going to open up our headquarters and allow people to walk through Juneau Avenue.
That is
and
awesome.
Get a historical perspective of what took place in that building. Things like when we bought the company back.
Like the room where that...
Yeah, all of those things where that dialogue was taking place.
That's brilliant. Yeah. I've had the luck to walk through, not getting all those stories, but you feel the energy in there, and you see all the old signs and the memorabilia, and where the hustle and bustle happened, and you just know ideas were just flowing in that place.
That building has emotion.
Oh, I bet.
And you can feel it when you go in there.
Yeah,
so that's
but for you as well, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I remember going down there when I was a kid with my dad.
Yeah.
We'd go down on a Saturday. He'd put my brother and I in the sidecar, and sometimes this was in the middle of winter. And he'd bundle us up, and off we'd go on a Saturday morning to go down to headquarters. And my brother and I'd be running around Juneau Avenue and checking things out. We'd go in my grandfather's office. I remember this when he was president, and we thought it was so cool to sit in his chair behind his desk. Like, this is where Grandpa sits.
This is probably before bring your kids to work was even cool.
Right.
I can just see it. There are the boys running around again.
Yeah.
The kids. Cool. Is there, as I think of the homecoming this year?
Yeah, there's more.
There's, and you're not even getting. I don't know. Like, everyone's going to be doing stuff for homecoming.
Oh yeah.
Not even just what Harley is organizing. Harley-Davidson is organizing,
city.
Right?
And that's what's so cool. And there's a lot going on. What's neat is we're all coming together to work on how do we help one another and how do we make Milwaukee
make it seamless for everyone when they show up.
Have a great time.
That is so cool.
And the other things we're doing for the homecoming at our engine manufacturing plant out at Pilgrim Road, we refer to it as. There's tours out there, and that's where you can take demo ride on a new Harley-Davidson, a new 2024 Harley-Davidson.
Whoa.
And for those people that have an endorsement, motorcycle endorsement, you got to check it out.
Okay.
Because there's some great new stuff that we've introduced for 2024 on the touring platform.
If you weren't you, and you're here for the homecoming this year, what's the number one thing you would check out if you weren't you? And this isn't picking your favorite kid, this is just like...
Yeah. So if I'm rolling into town, I would check out our website, hdhomecoming.com, for constant updates and a daily schedule. And I would say, okay, on July 25th, Thursday, I want to go to the park opening, and then I'm going to do a parade that Bill's going to lead with his sister Karen.
You can't
down
pick
to
one.
the museum.
Yep.
For the Kenny Wayne Shepherd concert.
It's all of it.
It's all of it.
The one thing I would do is all of it.
It is all of it. And
awesome.
the things that we've got planned at Vets Park with Nitro Circus, these guys, these are acrobats on motorcycles. They flip them upside down and fly through the air. They have a really cool theme. It's called Everything Flies.
Okay. Especially if it's on two wheels.
Right. And Red Hot Chili Peppers.
I know.
And Jelly Roll.
I know.
And Hardy. I mean, the other part of homecoming, when you said it's really the whole area coming together to have one big happening, we have 6 local Harley-Davidson dealers. And every single one of the dealers is putting on a phenomenal schedule of food and entertainment and custom bike shows. So you've got to step back, study the schedules a little bit.
You do some homework.
And do some homework.
Yeah.
And have fun riding from this party to the next party to this event to that event.
Yeah.
And just enjoy.
This has been a scratching the surface glimpse into what I'm sure has been a fabulous life. You seem to have this deep appreciation for all that you've been around and has been around you in a way that it can only be described as someone who's open to the experiences, and I love it. So much respect, so much just gratitude for all the things this company and you and your family have done in this community. Thank you. And thanks for jumping on the podcast.
Thank you. It's been fantastic. It's, it's a thrill to put smiles on people's faces. Harley-Davidson has done that for many, many years, 121 years.
Long time.
And to have that feeling of being able to change people's lives in such a positive way where they're dreaming about coming to Milwaukee, they're dreaming about buying a new bike or dreaming about learning how to ride a motorcycle. I can't think of anything more rewarding than being able to make people so happy and part of this awesome community that's born right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's, Milwaukee is synonymous with Harley-Davidson and vice versa.
And it should be.
Absolutely.
Well,
thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you.